Okay, so we're back in the shop after Caddy Jack's little I don't even know what to call it. It wasn't really little, but our plan was to unload the car, get it up in the air, try and figure out what all's wrong, and go over what it's going to take to fix it, and show you guys a little bit of what all happened or whatever, what we think happened and why and how. But you know, we got back to the shop and we thought about it. It was such a pain in the butt to get it in the trailer, because instead of having upper 4-link bars now holding the rear end in the car, it has 2 ratchet straps. We were concerned that if we got it out of the trailer, it probably ain't going back in. Then we'd be stuck cutting everything out here and redoing it here. And just no need for that, because Scabby Race Cars up near Tulsa is who makes rear tubular K members for those cars. Not this one, but he makes good ones. And this one is before we go blaming anything on him, this tubular K member was for a Camaro that we had bought used. We made it fit this car to the best of our ability here. The top bar where the 2 4-link bars go, that top cross member bar, it really should have been tied into the cage from the center. The guy that was working here at the time, he tied it in from the corner, and it didn't work. So, you know, hey, you live and learn. I looked at it at the time and thought, hey, you know, we'll see. If it's not okay, we'll fix it. About a year ago or a little more, Skyview had contacted us and said, hey, that K member's probably not going to work. You should come get one of our better designs that's made for that car, not for a street Camaro or whatever. And because we've been kind of pushing this thing a little further than what it was meant for. We said, yeah, we'll do that. It was over a year ago, because he was wanting to get done and take it to PRI last year for us. And of course, I was, yeah, let's do that. Heck yeah, we'll bring it to you, you know. And then, you know, we just didn't. There was just other things going wrong with the car, and we were having other issues, and so we were trying to fix those. And it was one of those things where it was like, next time we get a couple months off or whatever, we'll take the car up there and have him fix it. And we just didn't. Literally just nothing happened. Now the car's getting faster, and the 60 foots are coming around, and you know, that's when you find your issue. Once you start getting, and this is what we said in the beginning, like, you know, it's going to take us a while to get the chassis on this car figured out. This isn't a car that a lot of people build. You know, this isn't a Mustang or a Camaro or something that a million other people have done and can tell you where to put this and where to put that. You know, this is a stock CTSV chassis that we have bolted in a K member in the rear to make it solid rear axle and triangulated 4-link. And, you know, you live and learn. We should have took the car up there 2 years ago or whatever and had them redo it, but we didn't. So here we are. And I actually felt like that bar was bending, that upper bar. I felt like when the top 4-link bars were pulling on it, because when you let go of the button, the top bars pull and the bottom bars push. I felt like the top bars were pulling on that cross member, and I was like, man, I think that looks bent, or maybe bending, or maybe it's flexing, because we were getting some bounce in the car before, and, you know, we just tuned around it. You know, tuned shocks and 4-links and power and everything to get away from it. That was a bigger issue than we thought it was, because it really started to show its head here lately. We've had to make a lot of weird adjustments that we probably shouldn't have. The other weird thing is you can't see it in the data. Like, it was braking at the track here, you know, but you can't really see it in the data. So she was telling me over and over, and trust me, it didn't make the video as many times, but she told me over and over, there's something wrong. Every pass. She said, it's broken, it's bent, it's something wrong. Because I kept asking her, why is it going left? Am I pointing you left? Or
we were like, it sucks that you had to let out because it was going left. And I was like, I didn't let out because of that. I let out because it literally feels like a gear. Like, you're like,
yeah, she felt like it was snapping, like it was the whole time. It was tut, 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 tut. And she kept saying that, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, man, whatever. I can't see it in the data, so it didn't happen. That's the way.
You had that one data pulled up, and I was like, no, the data from this run. And you were like, this is the one from this run. And I was like, that's not what happened in the run.
Yeah. If I can't see it in the data, then to me, it didn't happen, you know? I was just looking at the video and looking at the data. The car was driving left, and I couldn't figure out why. So I was like, well, you know, I don't know. And then the second pass on the first day, the second pass started to leave good, and it pulled the front tires up, and I've never seen the car pull the front. I've never even seen the front tires off the ground, I don't think, on this car. And so it jerks the front tires up, sets them down immediately. I thought she pedaled. Then it tries to pick them back up, and then it drives hard left towards the wall, and then she pedaled. So, of course, she pedaled because it was, you know, broken. But I thought she pedaled because it was going towards the wall.
And it was weird that I was like, it just feels like it's like skating around, you know?
Yeah,
And then you didn't say anything, and I was like, oh. It's just weird because it feels like it's like slippery the whole time, you know?
Yeah, that's weird because it looks dead hooked through here, and then it looks like it's maybe slipping the tire a little bit right here, but
like
yeah,
it doesn't feel
right
like when it's like
sure.
spinning the tire, you know, when it's like fast, you know, zing, but it just feels like you're like skating the whole time. It's weird.
Wonder why.
Like in this area. That's
Oh, early?
pedaled,
Like
you know?
before, like around the 60 foot or whatever?
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe look at the shop.
I will. I will look at all of those things.
She kept saying, even when I get back in it though, out there, I was like, yeah, I'm not pointing you straight, or I'm pointing you to the left or something, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it looked like it was hooked up though. And she goes, no, it's spun. And I was like, what? It looked like it was hooked. And she's like, no, it's spun. And I was like,
Yeah, we're not normally on two different pages.
no, we're not normally that far apart on stuff. And she said, I got back in it even once it was out there, and it just felt like it was, like it had no traction. It was just skating and slippery, and it was like, she said it was like you were up on top of the water and something. She said it was just like, it was just didn't feel right. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, looking at the data and I'm going, I don't see it, you know? I just don't see it. And you know me, I don't trust the driver, no matter what the driver says. I only trust what I see in the data and the, you know, in the video and everything else. So, so we pushed it further, and we found out what was wrong with it. We went back the next day, and, you know, first pass, buddy.
2 passes.
Well, first pass, it went harder left, and then second pass is when everything went to total crap. So then, after me telling her, no, everything looks fine, I don't know why you're pedaling it, and then she's like, well, I'll just stay in it then, and I'll, you know, stay in it longer, even though it feels and sounds like it's ripping the car apart. If you're telling me there's nothing wrong with it, then I guess I'll stay in it. And so, you know, there you have it. It's that's how it goes. So what we decided was, instead of trying to repair this here at the shop, or, you know, trying to go over it and tear it apart, cut it up, whatever, I'm pretty sure no matter what happens, it needs to go to the chassis shop. So if we cut it up here, we can't get it back in the trailer. So, and we're both tired, and honestly, we need some sleep. So we're gonna get some sleep, and then we're gonna take it to the chassis shop in the morning and let him cut all that crap out and put the good stuff in it. His latest design for the CTSV, which is what should have been in the car a long time ago, but whatever. When we were just for the record, when we were doing this car, no one had done this before. Like we didn't even know if it would work. So we were just like, yeah, we'll buy one. The 5th gen one looks pretty close. And, you know, and he even told us then, this isn't radio X275 setup or nothing. This is just like what we have so you can go solid axle. And I was like, yeah, whatever, we'll try it. Fast forward to now, it needs the other stuff in it. So we're going to take it to the chassis shop in the morning and have it at his doorstep bright and early and let him fix it. And hopefully it's not there for as long as it would take me to finish college. We're still waiting on me to finish high school. So there's that. As far as what else we could see that was broke, there wasn't any fluids. So, you know, we don't think that usually when you have something catastrophic like this break under power, like when you're in the gas, usually it tears up lots of other things. I've broken just about everything you can imagine in the whole wide world in racing, on my own personal cars or cars that I tuned or worked on or owned or whatever. So usually when this stuff happens, it'll usually get, you know, transmission, rear third member, gears, whatever, it'll usually tear up all kinds of stuff. Like, I have torn up more than you can, like, this is nothing compared to the amount of stuff that I've torn up to get to where I'm at. We were worried that it got something else, you know, and it still could be a possibility, but we won't know until it gets fixed. So we're going to take it up there and get it fixed, and then we'll check it out. We're hoping the third member's still good, but if not, you know, it is what it is. We're hoping the transmission's still good, which it drove in the trailer and everything went into gear. No leaks, no fluid coming out. So I think everything's okay there. We were worried that it tried to pull the yoke out of the transmission, which will whip around and tear up the whole back of the tranny, but I think we're okay there for now. We'll inspect that further later. Motor sounds fine, you know. I don't even know that it knew it was happening. I did get a tire, maybe a wheel. Hopefully not. If it did, then we got to call Nate at Bogart and be like, yo, hey buddy, hey friend. The grinding sound in the video was the drive shaft. It was hitting the drive shaft safety loop. So that part did its job. Beat that shit out of the drive shaft, but did its job. It didn't come out of the car, and it didn't get into her or on the track or anything. So she's lucky. We're lucky that car, you know, everything's okay. It could have been way worse. If you think about it as a race car guy, if someone said, man, the top 4-link bar is broke, that's a crash. She went 120 mile an hour like that. So that should have been a crash. But the parachute kept the car straight. The rear end slung over in the car into the quarter. It should have dumped the car completely into the wall. But, you know, like I say, that parachute, she knew to hit the parachute. She knew when to hit the parachute. And the parachute kept the car straight enough and in the center of the track where she could get shut down confidently. So we're happy with that. It's going to go to the chassis shop, and then it'll go to race car school, and we'll see what happens when it gets back. This is what I'm talking about. So if you can see here, red is RPM, green is drive shaft. So if you just took from here this way, you know, this is after she pedaled it, and you're looking at this as a tuner, you're like, it was hooked up and going. Everything looks fine. Doesn't make any sense. Now, the first pass, the first day, it did, even though it didn't look like it spun, it did spin. You can see it right here. The drive shaft spun up, but then it kind of just stayed really weird there, which is, I think, part of that thing happening, because it didn't hook back up, but yet the drive shaft is linear. I took power out of it, and it spun worse. It's really hard to use this cursor from backwards here, but yeah, so right here you can see it spun way up, and it's real jagged and weird. You can kind of see what she's talking about in the car. She said it was, you know what I mean? So apparently it was broken and we didn't know it. And but you know, there's one real easy way to find out what's broken, or what's being, you know, what's bent or what's almost broken or whatever, and that is to really break it. Like, break it where it's not fixable. We've had so much trouble with the back of this car. That's why. Like, we've had trouble with it hooking. It doesn't do what you tell it every time. It's always been kind of weird. It doesn't want to go straight all the time. Like, we've had some issues. The 4-link doesn't do like what it should, and you know, we've fought it, and you guys have seen it. It'll make 2 or 3 really good passes, then you take it to a race and it shanks it, or it makes 2 or 3 really good passes and then you go back the next day and it shanks it, you know. So like, we've had a lot of weird inconsistent issues with the car, and that's why whenever I went down there and I asked her what she broke, and she said everything, and I said hopefully it's the back of the car, because everything in the front of the car has been doing its job great. So at this point, I'm just ready for whatever it is to be broken so bad we never have to put it back in the car. Because that's the only way we're going to take it to the chassis shop and get it fixed, is if you can't race it. If it can be raced, we're going to take it out. We're going to test it. We're going to try and figure out what's going on with it. But when it's broke bad and you can't race it at all, and you can't test it, you can't even drive it around the shop, well, then we got to fix it. So that's what we're going to do. So next time you see Caddy Jack, we're going to take you along for the journey up there a little bit and shoot what we can on the way up and dropping it off and stuff. But then next time you see Caddy Jack, hopefully it'll be either updates from Josh at the chassis shop, which maybe he'll give us some of those. He's been kind of working on starting a YouTube deal, so we'll see. And then, but next time you see it back here, hopefully it'll be, you know, reinforced and 4-linked, and, you know, still be stock wheel tubs, stock chassis, stock frame rail, stock all that, just bolt-in K-member. But that's where we're at. Until then, you know, we're gonna race what we got to race. maybe the Nova, maybe my car.
We got options.
We got options. Yeah, we're not totally dead in the water. We got options. We got pretty good options, actually. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. I think this winter is going to get really interesting. Is that a skid steer over there? That's what I need. We're here to drop off Jackie's Pro Mod.
Pro Mod.
That's what they call it when you're dropping it off at the chassis shop. Shit.
Wow, look at their Halloween decoration. So festive.
What's that thing?
Yeah, it's a jack-o'-lantern.
That's a propane tank.
Like a jack-o'-lantern.
I mean, that is decorative. They got one Halloween decoration. Jackie's, hey, look at there.
I'm sold.
Did you bring a checkbook?
No.
Good thing is, they usually don't make you pay till you pick them up.
I told you I'm never gonna financially recover from this. I said that and Justin started dying.
Yeah, she said, I'm never going to financially recover from this. All right. Let's ask him where he wants it, because, man, it's going to be, it's got ratchet straps for 4-link bars right now.
Yeah, we're not turning much.
Or maybe he's got a helicopter or a forklift or something.
Can a forklift lift 3,200 pounds? Probably not.